Frequency. Chapter 12. Almost in the Flesh. You know, Flash said with a blushing grin. If you're not tired, I can always help with that. Vinyl rolled her eyes.
Nice try, Bullputt, but I think Luna's got it covered.
He opened his mouth, paused, and then glanced at the princess standing by Vinyl. At Luna's raised eyebrow, he sucked in a slow breath. Oh, that was tempting. You're gonna get me sent to the moon yet. With a chuckle, Vinyl stepped close and nuzzled him.
Darn, you almost said it, didn't you?
He returned to the motion. I knew it was a setup. You're a dangerous mare, Vanilla. Vinyl's cheeks burned, and she popped him gently on the side of the head.
Not in front of Luna, you jerk! And for the last time, I do not taste like vanilla.
Before she could react, he pecked her on the cheek. Yeah, you actually do.
Go on!
She pushed him out of the door, her face only growing hotter.
We can't do this if you're bugging me!
Oh, but it's so much fun! He nipped at her ear before she could get away. She fought valiantly to keep from grinning.
I'll be fun later, but this is too important, okay?
She closed the door in his face. You're my witness, Luna, he called through the wood. She promised me some fun later. Vinyl thought her face would melt. She bucked the door and walked away from it, doing her best to maintain a calm, dignified pose.
Alright, can we get started now?
Luna had a small smile.
Has any pony ever mentioned that you two are a delight to watch? Ugh.
Vinyl face-oved.
I'm gonna kill that cold. He's only trying to cover his own anxiety,
the princess noted.
In 1,000 years, stallions haven't changed at all. Wait.
Vinyl shot Luna an incredulous look.
You mean there are stallions asking you out?
Luna chuckled and shook her head.
Not recently, no. I appear to be a bit unapproachable in the eyes of most modern stallions. But there was a time, most certainly.
She waved to the bed.
Do you want to discuss the hearts of hopeless colts, or do you want to begin? Begin, definitely, begin.
Vinyl all but jumped into her bed. As she settled into her preferred spot, she cast a glance at the door.
So, why did you want Flash to come along? You will be asleep,
Luna replied as she sat by the bed.
I will be in the dreamscape. If something were to go wrong, it would be appropriate for some pony to be nearby to wake you. Oh.
Vinyl cocked her head.
What could go wrong?
At that, Luna regained her pleasant smile.
Do not fret, Miss Scratch. I'm merely being cautious. The odds are exceedingly low, and even if something did happen, I would be there to stop it. Trust the Princess of the Night.
Vinyl returned the smile and rested her head to her pillow.
All right, Luna, I trust you. Good. Are you ready?
Luna waited for her to nod.
Then I shall begin.
The princess lowered her horn to touch Vinyl's forehead. A soft glow filled her eyes, and within seconds, she began to feel lightheaded.
Oh, wow, that stuff works quick.
Vinyl blinked and stared up at the rafters. It took her a few seconds to register that they shouldn't even be there.
What the?
She sat up with a jerk and looked around. She was alone in a small room full of musical toys. A little clarinet, a play piano, a xylophone. It all looked so curiously familiar. Home. She was in her room at her uncle's place. But why was she here?
Luna?
She gazed at her hooves.
I'm dreaming now, right?
Another look around reminded her that she was alone. Carefully, she climbed out of the bed. Strange. She was her normal self, but her room wasn't any smaller. She examined the piano, which should have been sized for a filly of 6 or 7, but instead reached up to her chest. She tapped the keys and heard the note, as crisp and clear as it had been in reality. She couldn't help but marvel. She'd never had a dream be so lucid before. Then it dawned on her. She knew she was dreaming. That was an entirely new sensation.
Okay.
Vinyl spun a quick circle.
Luna said she'd get here soon, so here I am.
Luna's head appeared through the open bedroom window. She offered a smile.
I apologize for the delay. I had to prepare. Are you ready? You bet I am!
Vinyl grinned and looked around the room once more.
So is there something I gotta do?
Luna chuckled at her eagerness.
Not at all. Just let me work my magic for a moment.
With a nod, Vinyl sat and waited. Luna closed her eyes and her horn began to shine. The dark blue glow filled Vinyl's vision, making her raise a hoof over her eyes to look away. Seconds passed in silence, and then the light began to fade.
What was that supposed to...
She lowered her leg and saw a bright blue sky. A vast hilly plain spread for miles in every direction, covered in little white flowers and tall grass that swayed in the wind.
Oh.
She pawed at the grass and marveled at how surprisingly real it felt.
Is this your doing? This is simply how lucid dreams are.
Luna's disembodied voice responded.
However, your subconscious mind has picked up on my presence, and that makes it more aware, if you will. A moment, please.
Vinyl fidgeted, her eyes surveying the empty world. It was actually rather pretty, reminding her loosely of the cemetery her father was in. Just as she was about to call out to Luna, a new light appeared a few feet away. She watched it with wide eyes as the light shifted and coalesced into a tall form. It gradually acquired a pair of legs, then arms like a minotaur. Whatever was forming, it was much smaller than one of those. Vinyl's heart pounded in her chest, and her mouth hung open as the light began to fade, leaving behind something the likes of which descriptions had not prepared her for. The creature that stood before her was tall enough that Vinyl's muzzle just reached to its waist. It bore long, slender limbs, and its furless skin was a dark brown. It wore blue jeans around wide hips and a light yellow shirt with short white sleeves. A long black ponytail crowned its head. The creature's face was wide and hard, with a short nose, thin mouth, and high cheekbones. It blinked, revealing soft green eyes that gradually came to focus upon Vinyl. For several seconds, the two only gaped at one another. Vinyl took a timid step forward and licked her lips before managing to utter a quiet question.
You're... Addie?
Slowly, Addie raised her hands to point with a lone finger.
Vinyl!
Vinyl's hind legs collapsed.
Oh, goddess. She did it! Luna actually merged our dreams! You really are a pony.
A lopsided smile came to Addie's face.
And a unicorn. Just like you said. And you're...
Vinyl's lips fumbled as she struggled for something to say. At last, she managed to blurt out something.
Tall!
Addie huffed a feeble laugh and approached on stumbling legs. Vinyl stared up at her, trying to find some more words, but her mind was numb. This creature was what she'd been talking to on the radio all this time? There were so many emotions floating around in her brain at that moment that it rendered her speechless. Her legs failing, Addie dropped to her knees before Vinyl. Her eyes were wide as saucers, and her hands trembled. Slowly, she reached up and touched Vinyl's cheek.
You're really you, right? You're really here?
Vinyl reached up to press the hand, to feel its warmth, to delight in its touch.
Yeah, I'm really here?
Addie's shaking lips twitched into a smile. Her eyes began to water.
Vinyl. Vinyl!
She fell forward, engulfing Vinyl in a tight hug as her sobs shattered the still air. Vinyl smiled and wrapped her hooves around Addie's shoulders, not bothering to say anything. There was no way to know how long the moment lasted. Addie wept and wept, but even when she could sob no more, she continued to hold Vinyl. She didn't mind. Vinyl couldn't imagine what this moment was like for her. She wasn't sure she wanted to. At last, Addie managed to speak.
I'm sorry. I told myself I wouldn't, but...
She sat back, but her hands clung to Vinyl's shoulders. Though her face was streaked with tears, she had the biggest smile Vinyl had ever seen.
I can't describe how beautiful you are. The most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Vinyl returned the smile.
It's good to finally meet you, Addie.
Addie chuckled.
Nice to meet you too, Vinyl.
She hesitated, but finally let go.
Sorry. It's alright,
Vinyl said.
I get it. I'm not gonna leave anytime soon.
A long sigh drifted from Addie's lips, and her shoulders sagged.
Good. Good.
She stared into Vinyl's eyes for a moment, but then jerked them away.
So, is this what Equestria looks like?
She hurriedly said. Vinyl took in their surroundings once more.
More or less. This is a neutral ground Luna made for us. Said it was safer than just throwing one of us in the other's dream. Oh, the princess!
Addie stood and looked around.
Where is she? I'd like to thank her. She said she'd be leaving us to ourselves this time.
Vinyl replied with a shrug.
I'm sure you can meet her next time. Oh, I'll be honest, I didn't think she could do what she claimed.
Addie's eyes abruptly grew wide, her gaze centering on Vinyl's horn.
Wait, if she can do this...
She leaned in close to either protrusion with wonder, her eyes making Vinyl fidget.
You people really can do magic, can't you? You mean you still didn't believe?
Vinyl rolled her eyes.
Yes, I can do...
She tensed with a small squeal, eyes going wide as Addie ran a few fingers along her horn.
This is amazing!
Addie whispered, blissfully unaware of the tingling that coursed through Vinyl's body. I think she got a little too excited there. But hey, finally, some kind of human contact. Anywho, let's get on to our confident donators. Top donators: Jessie Smith, Star630, BadassWaffle, Only One Thing, Ceru, Orion, and Caladis. Magic, Jock, Rayden, Runescythe, Will, Twinkie, Luigi, Chancer Crust, Big Smoke, Murder Princess, Little Mighty, Solar Symphony, and many more amazing people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.